In April, Knicks president Phil Jackson told the Wall Street Journal, quote, "We hope that Carmelo is true to his word, and we understand what it's going to take when we present our plan to him at that time. I'd like to appeal to his better nature of winning. That's what we want to do," end quote. And we welcome you back to Free Agent Fever. Rick Kamla with Isaiah Thomas, Brian Colangelo, and David Aldridge. And according to an ESPN.com report over the weekend, the Knicks are increasingly optimistic about their chances of re-signing their franchise player because of the way Phil Jackson has connected with him. DA, is that connection and a max contract enough to keep Carmelo Anthony in New York?
You know, Rick, I think everybody is trying to put their best foot forward. You know, the Knicks would love to stamp out any competition by saying, oh, yeah, we're going to re-sign him. Don't even bother making him an offer. But people are going to make him offers. You know, the Bulls are going to make offers. The Lakers and the Clippers are going to look at it. Houston's certainly going to look at it. So I don't think that that's going to happen in the first minute of free agency, that he re-signs with the Knicks. He has said for months that he wants to be a free agent, that he wants to go through the experience of being courted by other teams and to see what's out there for him. And I would be very shocked if a couple of meetings with Phil Jackson in California suddenly changed his mind.
All right, DA. Now, after opting out of his contract with the Knicks last week, unrestricted free agent Carmelo Anthony is expected to begin his recruiting tour on Tuesday in Chicago, where he will meet with the Bulls. Then it's off to Texas, where Melo will reportedly meet with the Rockets and Mavericks on Wednesday. And you see some possible scenarios here for NBA.com's John Schumann, where Carmelo may go to Chicago or Houston or Dallas. Brian, which team gives Carmelo Anthony the best combination of money and chances to win a ring?
I got to think that it's Chicago or Houston right now, depending on the situations that come up. Obviously, there's more money on the table in New York, and it's a $30 million swing. If a sign and trade is worked out, or if he just goes as a free agent, obviously, into room, we're talking about roughly a $30 million difference. But when you talk about the assets that Chicago has and the things that they can put on the table, including in a sign and trade situation for New York, I think New York comes out a little bit in the best possible scenario if that does play out. I think Phil's done a nice job of setting this up where if he stays, we're going to be fine. If he leaves, we're going to be fine. But if they can get something out of it, you know, perhaps a combination of, you know, Boozer, obviously, if he was not amnestied and included in a sign and trade, you could include some young asset like Mirotic and a first-round pick, and maybe the second that is owed to Chicago. But there's also a Dunleavy piece there. So all of a sudden, New York has a clean slate 1 year from now. I think that's been their emphasis all along, is to try to maintain as much flexibility in 2015 free agency as possible. This is just a way for Phil to really start fresh, Derek Fisher to start fresh. It's not the end of the world.
If they're trying to start fresh, but if they're trying to keep Carmelo, then you can't underestimate the connection that Phil Jackson has had with superstars in this league, whether it be Michael Jordan, Shaq, Kobe, and you know he's done a great job in terms of changing their mindset. And a lot of those guys had not won championships until they were coached by Phil Jackson. So his philosophy, his team philosophy, his basketball philosophy, the way he approaches the game, the way he looks at the game is something that Carmelo Anthony is going to have to buy into. And it's going to be a waiting period. He's not going to win right away in New York. At the age that he's at right now, in the years that he's put into the league, the question is, how long does he have to wait and how long will he wait? And some of these other teams are ready to win right now. But don't underestimate the importance of Phil Jackson in this scenario. And don't underestimate the purple and gold. Yes, the Lakers are also expected to set up a meeting with Carmelo in L.A., where he maintains an off-season home. D.A., is Carmelo to the Lakers a realistic notion, and do you think he could coexist with Kobe Bryant?
I think it's a long shot, to be honest with you. If Carmelo could come with another player, and I'm sure the Lakers are going to try to sell him, hey, we can sign two guys, they can, but they can't sign him for max money or anything close to max money, even with the moves that they've made. They didn't trade that pick, which became Julius Randle, and that counts more than $2 million now on their cap. That's $2 million that they that they would have had to spend on free agents. And they bought another draft pick from the Wizards. So now you're talking about $3 million that they're going to spend on their, if they keep Jordan Clarkson as well, that they're going to spend on rookies this year. So I'm seeing a Lakers team that's not really looking to make that daily double. I think they will certainly be aggressive in free agency. I'm certain they're going to go after 2 or 3 guys, but I don't see them going after the big fish. Maybe they'll make their pitch to Carmelo. I don't think Carmelo would go there by himself, though. It just seems like I think it would be difficult to sell him on that. As Brian mentioned, when you have so many other options in Chicago, in Houston, in Dallas that he could go to, and it's hard for me to see him just going there and playing with Kobe for 2 years, and then Kobe retires, and then you don't know what you got.